go, 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 yeah, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway, and in the driveway.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. We count down to kickoff for what should be an action here, as it'll be the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs taking on the NFC champions, the Dallas Cowboys. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, for these Kansas City Chiefs, they, of course, were Super Bowl champions 3 years ago. The win over the Niners in Miami. They fell to the Bucs in Tampa a couple years back. They had the blown lead in the AFC title game against Cincinnati last year. And now they're back, making their third trip to the big game in 4 years.
And their recent history only increases the urgency to try and win another Super Bowl title with this group.
Meanwhile, the Cowboys have had some ups and downs since their last Super Bowl appearance, but they're back for the 9th time, trying to win number 6 and tie the Patriots and Steelers. For the Cowboys, their last Super Bowl title quite a while ago, January of '96.
And those were great teams. Jimmy Johnson was their head coach, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, all Hall of Famers. They were known as the Triplets. But then you go further back to those great teams in the 70s, led by Hall of Fame coach Tom Landry, Roger Staubach at quarterback, Tony Dorsett at running back. Those were great teams as well. This one, trying to create their own identity.
Here's the kicker, Harrison Butker, ready to get this one started. And off we go on EA Sports. And we will not have a return, so the first drive of the Super Bowl will begin at the 25. Dak Prescott and Dallas taking the field for their first possession. Dak now in his 7th season in charge of the Cowboys, 2-time Pro Bowler.
As we begin the Super Bowl, we're looking at one of the game's most important players. And whether he's the centerpiece of the offense or taking a backseat to his teammates, offenses always look to the quarterback to be a leader in moments like this. He's got to be that calm, composed pillar out there who stays level-headed and keeps everyone focused on the task at hand.
They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive, first down.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Got his man there, complete to Gallup. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Prescott off play action. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Looking to throw, Prescott. And that ball incomplete, nearly intercepted. Took a chance with that one. It'll lead to a 4th down.
Well, I'm quite sure that they envisioned a much better start to this game when they practiced all week, but they failed on that 3rd down play. That brings up 4th down, and they'll probably have to punt it away.
On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. Back deep is Kadarius Toney. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. Here comes the Kansas City offense, and in his 6th season of conducting this high-powered attack, coming off 4 straight Pro Bowls, it's Patrick Mahomes.
And he spoke very eloquently and passionately on media day about what a victory here would mean for him. He knows this just isn't any other game. This is the kind of game that stays with you for a lifetime. If there's anyone on this field tonight who's most ready for this moment, I think it's this man right here.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Here's the rookie out of Rutgers, Isaiah Pacheco. And he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
And the Cowboys here on 3rd down, bringing in an extra defensive back. Mahomes now to throw. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Here's the Chiefs punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
It's a 46-yard punt, 2 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So out come the Cowboys now as their offense gets set to take over. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Prescott to throw it. Able to hit his target, Lamb. He had a great move, but he'll still be stopped shy of midfield. They get 6. That'll leave him with 3rd and 4. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Kansas City taking the field for their 2nd drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too. Well, they certainly came out firing in this one, and while that one was incomplete, I can't imagine that'll be the last shot that they take in this game.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. Mahomes going to throw. Screen play, McKinnon. Look at those stick skills. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger gain.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Mahomes to throw on 3rd and 1. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
On 4th down, Tommy Townsend to punt for Kansas City. This is taken at the 23. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. Play action now, Prescott. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. The run for Pollard. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He said, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a first down.
A first down throw for Prescott. Open man downfield is Lamb. It's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards on the play.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
First down, Prescott. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
And good yardage there on first down because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
4 yards remain for second down. Now Pollard. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Now Prescott. Out route, and it's complete to Brown. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. It's the first time that they've looked his way tonight, and he comes up with a first down on the play.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Here's Pollard. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Prescott. Throw right side, taken in by Gallup. Yeah, the Cowboys are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1. A chance for the first score of this Super Bowl. Here's 1st and goal. Throwing, Prescott. Eluding the pressure right. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Dak Prescott punching it in from a yard away. And the Cowboys are on the board first here in this Super Bowl. Striking first in any game is very important, but on this stage, the biggest of stages in the Super Bowl, that's huge.
You fully expect the other team to battle all the way through, but when you're the one setting the pace, jumping out in front, that has to feel great for the entire organization.
Brett Maher on for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-0 Cowboys. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it was all capped off by Dak Prescott, keeping it and taking it in on the touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's Maher to kick it away. Well, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. They trailed early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
2nd down, McKinnon. And he'll take this up to the 30, a gain of 4.
Let's go, baby. Come on, baby. Rock and roll.
1 quarter done, 3 more to play here in Super Bowl 57. 7-0 is our score. The NFL on EA Sports continues right after this message. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Welcome back to the date on the calendar we circle every year. Super Bowl Sunday. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis here with you as we get set to begin quarter 2. And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? The guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route well run, and the football right on the money.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. He can rack up those tackles in bunches in the run game from that middle linebacker spot.
And what he has to do is make sure he congratulates the guys in front and tells them thanks a lot, because as the guy in the middle, the Mike linebacker, you're counting on your front 3, your front 4, your front 5, whatever you've got in front of you to take up all the blocking, allow you to roam and hit, and that's what he did on that play.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. He's going to let it go again. And he's got it. Touchdown, Chiefs. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 37 yards. And the Chiefs are an extra point away from tying this Super Bowl at 7. They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they started to execute it, and they started to protect the guy throwing the ball, because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and we are tied at 7. That time a 6-play drive, and it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. Well, the football changing hands here, and as this offense takes the field, Charles, they'd be fine with more of the same on this upcoming drive. Last time out, they found the end zone for 6.
And they're certainly hoping for more of the same, but the game plan, I doubt it'll just be a carbon copy of the last drive, because I think this offense is ready to break out some new wrinkles and try some new things that might be hidden in their playbook. They want to use that confidence to its advantage while also keeping the defense from anticipating what's up next.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. On play action, Prescott. He finds his man, complete. It's Ferguson. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage, because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a 1st down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On the option, here's Elliott. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed first down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the first, you can get a little aggressive here on second down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
On second down and 4, Prescott.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on second down. Prescott now. This is caught. It's Brown. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big gain of 39 on 3rd. That one was hard to fathom. They were in the dime. They had 6 DBs back there. They still lost it.
Great word, because I'm right there with you. I don't understand how they couldn't pick him up. But don't be surprised next week early, there's some extra people in the locker room, maybe a tryout or 2 for those guys who missed him.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Now Prescott. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it'll be second down. Prescott yet again. That one complete to Elliott. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
Oh, partner, when you see a screen pass and the defensive tackle ends up making the play, you know that one wasn't sold well at all, because he should be upfield by the time you throw the pass. If not, you end up with big trouble, as we just saw right there.
Now this drive, they're 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions, but they need 7 yards here. Prescott from the gun. And this is going to be incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
On 4th down, Prescott goes off, and on comes the Cowboy kicker, Brett Maher, for the field goal try. Maher able to put this one through, and they take the lead here now at 10-7.
Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
After the made field goal, Maher back out there to kick it away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25.
KC's offense ready to take over. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Another try after the first down sack. Mahomes, a dump down to McKinnon. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. A dump down to McKinnon. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down, they just said, we've got faith in our tackles. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
Here's Tommy Townsend now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. The Dallas offense back out onto the field. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
Yeah, maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. This a 2nd and 7 from the 37. Here's Prescott. He finds his target. It's Schultz. His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Let's get some rope.
2 minutes on the clock in the second quarter of this Super Bowl. Prescott on first down. He's going to find Gallup here complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw is Prescott. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Ferguson. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because He really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. On 1st and 10, Prescott. And that nearly trouble, but it's incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it, and it'll be 2nd down.
What would look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
To the air again, Prescott. Over the middle, hauled in by Lamb. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Looking to throw. Prescott. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Chiefs. Accelerating, and off he goes. 30, 10, 5. And he has brought this one back. A fumble recovery for a Chiefs touchdown. And what we just saw, very, very rare. We only had 5 of those in the first 50 Super Bowls.
The biggest stage, the biggest game, and we just saw it happen again. Extraordinary.
The defense has been good, and they were good again there. Butker on for the PAT. And that makes it 14-10. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Cowboy offense going to head out now late in this first half. With this slim deficit closing in on the end of the first half, we'll see if they can move this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 out of this drive. Over the middle, complete. That's Schultz. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. The Cowboys signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. A first down throw for Prescott. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And he works free. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. So they will wave off the flag and let the completion stand.
Really great job by the receiver fighting through all the contact and still coming down with the football. All that great work and practice being put into the game.
So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And with Mahomes under center, anything's possible. Watch out for the deep ball. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. So we've reached halftime here in the Super Bowl. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand-new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Cowboys. And it's been the passing game that's been the story. They have feasted on this secondary to the tune of 200-plus yards already through 2 quarters.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. And the Chiefs ready to go on offense to begin quarter number 3. And I think you'd have to say their coaching staff, all things considered, had to be pleased with their performance in the first half of this Super Bowl.
Definitely pleased, doing their best not to show it to their team, of course, because as you and I both know, their mantra all season long has been finish. Get the job done. They know how close they are to lifting that trophy. One more solid half of football, and they can do exactly that.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Mahomes going to throw. Open man, Smith-Schuster. It's complete. And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, they will run with McKinnon. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down. That fits the bill.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Mahomes now to throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
When you're running the slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. To throw, it's Mahomes. I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
Here's the Chiefs punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the 2nd half. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Prescott. Left side to Lamb. Close to 100 yards receiving. He's at 98, and he's got a first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. They'll run left with Pollard. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Going to run again here with Pollard. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
He finds his man, complete. It's Schultz. And he will have a Cowboys first down by about a yard as they're able to convert on 3rd and 2.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route, but he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction and was able to track the ball in another.
A couple of first downs has the football positioned at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. They run straight ahead here with Pollard. And he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Off the play fake, Prescott. And the Chiefs are going to get him. George Karlaftis able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening.
How about that, partner? His second sack of the game, and that puts him in some pretty good company. 17 guys have had 2 sacks in the previous 52 Super Bowls, but only 3 have had the record number of 3 sacks in this game.
And we've got the list here. If he gets another one and everyone behaves nicely, we might just list those out for him. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. Prescott to throw it. Throw left side complete. That's Elliott. And he is going to lose yardage here. This will wind up a loss on the play, and it'll be 4th down. So that was a very nice play, Charles, from a very speedy cornerback.
And that is a situation where in a defender's mind, you just have to pick a point on the football field and think to yourself, I'm going to sprint full out and meet him at that point. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but he had to play diagnosed perfectly there.
And the next-gen stats show us the top speed there, better than 18 miles an hour. Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Dallas. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
And now here comes Kansas City. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. The linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play, and that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. And that is incomplete.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Here's the Chiefs punter now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Play action now. Prescott. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Elliott. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Here's the option going left on 2nd down. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. He'll wind up getting 2 there as he does it himself and picks up the 1st. So that was all you're looking for on a play like that. Get the first down and keep the drive moving.
Yeah, it just looked to me like he just said to himself, I've got this. I'll take it. I'll pick it up, and let's keep moving. Get the first down, get a new set, and let's start over.
Open man, right side, it's Lamb. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. Just one more quarter remains in the season-long race for the Lombardi Trophy here at Super Bowl 57 from Glendale. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back in the Super Bowl. Time to decide who gets to hoist that Lombardi Trophy as we begin the fourth and final quarter of action. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
But they're certainly not neglecting their run duties as well as they ate up the blockers in front and allowed the secondary to get home.
They will look for some important yardage on 3rd down. From here, it would be a 60-yard boot. Throwing, Prescott. He finds his man, complete. That's Schultz. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 30. The drive stays intact with a pickup of 13.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and we watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run with Pollard. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
So that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Now Prescott. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there. I think that time he just maybe held on to it a little too long, CD, because after a couple of seconds in this league, you know those defenders are coming.
And how many times do we talk about complementary football? And we usually talk about, does the offense help the defense? Does the defense help the offense? I think in this case, does the quarterback help out his offensive line? You only have a certain amount of time to get rid of the football. They can only do so much. On this play, he took them to the limits.
Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
So a big one coming now for Brett Maher. This for a 4th quarter lead. The kick by Maher is good, and they have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
After the made field goal, Maher back out there to kick it away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now the Chiefs offense ready to go again. And we're at the time in this Super Bowl where, look, they need points. And they need them badly. Trailing here in the 4th quarter as they begin this drive 1st and 10. Now Mahomes. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now here's Mahomes. And that, nearly picked off. Well, it would have been a great time for their first interception of the game. Instead, it's 2nd down. I guess they're in a situation now, 4th quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted, and if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before this worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. Now it's Mahomes again. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the 1st down.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Looking to throw is Mahomes. To Valdez-Scantling over the middle. And he'll wind up getting this to the 32. A play that started at the 16, and that's how many yards they get. 1st down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Throwing on 1st down is Mahomes. Open man right side is Tony. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mahomes. It's Kelce on the ground. And he's going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 13-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. And no hesitations, they go right back to Kelce. Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and that will bring up 2nd down.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
4 yards to go on 2nd down from the 7. Now a handoff running through the middle. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Chiefs have regained the lead in the second half of this Super Bowl. Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play and actually saved it until the very end. Touchdown goes on his stat sheet, but you and I both know, and he knows as well, his teammates airing it out made this a successful drive.
Extra point by Butker is on target,
And the lead is up to 5. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it. And they'll take it out to the 25.
Out comes CeeDee Lamb and the rest of the Dallas offense.
And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. He got 29 yards that time.
Just a terrific run there, Charles, from a running back who is so compact and powerful, and that strength was on display there.
And that, in a nutshell, shows you what this guy's made of. I mean, most guys in the NFL just can't do that. He absorbed the contact, refocused himself, and made a break for the end zone.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 46.
He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb.
And incomplete on the deep ball.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Prescott. On the left side, Gallup's got it. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Prescott yet again. Over the middle, complete. It's Schultz. And he will have a Cowboys 1st down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Prescott. That's caught again by Schultz. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His 2nd catch in a row, 1st down. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive.
Out of his hands quickly to CeeDee Lamb.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4.
A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
All right, let's just put it on the table real quick here. This is 2-minute drill. You got to know they're looking for their #1 receiver.
Yeah, you think they'd be ready for that? That time they weren't. Here's Dak. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Colin Saunders in there to drop him as that clock continues to run.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has now received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Noah Brown, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Cowboys answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a fourth-quarter lead. What a game this has been, and what a drive that was, Charles, to take the lead here late in the fourth quarter.
And, partner, that's a job well done by everyone, from the players to the guys calling the plays. And if I may introduce just one downside to the mix, might be a little bit too much time left. Enough on the clock for a final last-ditch effort to try and steal this win away.
And now remember, all touchdowns are reviewed, and in a tight game like this, they're going to take a good long look at it. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Prescott to throw. Flush to his right. And he'll get into the end zone. So now a field goal would only tie as they've upped their lead to 3. So that effort gives him a 3-point cushion and guarantees that a field goal going forward won't beat them.
Yeah, that's really good strategy because that's all you care about. Not getting beat at this stage. At least give your team a fighting chance.
Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes Mahomes and the Chiefs. Down 24-21, 1:04 on the clock. They need at least a field goal to send this Super Bowl to overtime as they come up on first down. Mahomes will throw. That ball is caught. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. That's good for 28 yards. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. First down, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, you have to like the play calling because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and incompletions to use the clock.
Mahomes. Flushed out right. And he wisely will throw that one away. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Mahomes. Open on the left side. This is Valdez-Scantling. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. An incompletion, now a short pickup. That's not going to do it.
Yeah, you've got to get to the line of scrimmage quickly, get set up, and aim downfield.
Would be a long field goal try from here as they try to hustle to the line. Here's Mahomes. Man open, it's Tony. He's got it. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Mahomes. Right back to Tony. He's got another one. Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Ball at the 6 here as they work with a 2nd and 2. Here's a give up the middle. And he's across for the touchdown, and it's likely the game winner here in the closing stages. What an outstanding drive right there to take the lead, and also, Charles, didn't leave their opposition with a whole lot of time on the clock.
Yeah, I like the way that you're viewing this because they did a tremendous job to put themselves in a position to win, but they can't celebrate just yet. They've got to clamp down on any big plays and force them to use up those timeouts without making any headway.
Extra point by Butker is on target.
And it would appear, barring some late heroics, they're going to get out of here with a come-from-behind victory.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. One last shot now for Prescott. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. And the Kansas City Chiefs are the Super Bowl champions. And their remarkable season ends in the most remarkable of ways. They get to put next to their name, Super Bowl champion.
And they can't ever take that away, can they?
Nope.
That lasts forever. So good to see the emotion when it's all said and done. You see the hugs, you see the guys sharing, the collective happiness. Makes me want to carry you around a little bit on my shoulders to celebrate the triumph. And congratulations to them, a fantastic season.